What's up, folks? Welcome back to Old Guy DIY. That's it. OG DIY stands for old guy. Not an old guy, but just want to make that clear. I'm not the original DIYer. I'm the old guy DIYer. So, got the garage door open. It's mid-January 25 in North Texas, and we got like one day today before another Arctic week of nastiness comes in. So I thought I'd take advantage of it. Today we're going to do a transfer case gear lube change on the 2017 Lexus LX570. And it seems, I don't know if it seems, let me get a better perspective. I'm at shoulder level where the engine opening is here. And I'm 6 feet tall, so yeah, I got this baby up off the ground. Also on my channel is a rear diff gear lube change, and I didn't have the truck as high up off the ground. So I made some adjustments this time. I had some 6-ton jack stands, had 2 of them, and some 3-ton jack stands. And so the 6-ton were great. They could get, they got a higher reach. You can push them up higher up in the air. So I went down to Walmart, picked up a couple more of the 6 tons. I think it was, with tax, probably $60. And so, yeah, we're in much better shape now. Let me show you. So give you an idea, there's the fun sports car sitting there, and the door handles are at the roof of the sports car. So we're up off the ground quite a bit. Yeah, and there's a good shot of it. So I've got full droop on the front independent suspension, so it doesn't look as high, but it's up. It's up quite a ways. Used a floor jack back there to get this bad boy up in the air. And the one I've got, you can see it's got an extension for tall SUVs. So that's what I'm using. I just keep that, up in that spot for whatever reason. We get a massive earthquake or something. These jack stands are super robust, and they'll keep her up in the air for sure. So let me show you all the goodies we're going to need to get this job done. We're going to use that Mobil 1 75W90 for the differential gear lube. This is a transfer pump that'll help get it done. Certainly going to need a little support if we got a mess on our hands, appropriate gloves. Torque wrench, I believe, is really important. You should have one of those. That one's quite old, and once you make the investment, then you use it enough, it pays for itself. And then to get things to move a little quicker, bolts come off a little quicker, a little extra help from electricity. I have here just a listing of what I found on other YouTube channels as the torque numbers for the transfer case job. So I'm going to use that. And in my case, because it's getting a little chilly, got to have a little hot tea rocking. And so job 1 over here is we got to get these skid plates. And there's a plastic underbelly plate back there as well. We got to get those off so we can expose everything that we're going to be working on and give us the room we need. So let's get rolling on that. 10mm. These little ones on this side are 10mm, but most of it is 12mm. All right, folks, so minor correction. I got these skid plates off. I got that plastic rear plate off, but that just really exposes the front differential, which is right here. That's your front differential. We're doing that a little bit later, but in this case, we're going to make our way back further down to the transfer case, which is down there. Let me give you a better view. I should have known better, but transfer case is about midway, the midway point between front and rear. So front of the car, rear of the car, transfer case right there. And that is all of the shielding apparatus that has to come off in order to drain it. So got all that preparation done for another video. Basically, we're dealing with a bash plate, if you will. This is the whole protection piece for the bottom part of, and it kind of goes around it for the transfer case. Then there's a heat insulator, which is sheet metal that's sort of covering the whole unit. And then there's this too. This is like a isolator of some sort, like a damper, some sort of damping thing, and it's to isolate maybe vibration. So this has to come off. This bottom piece, which is the bash plate, has to come off. The heat insulator has to come off. And there's a whole host of bolts to take it off. So I'm going to get the appropriate dismounting hardware, and we're going to get after it. Oh, it's pretty heavy. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so that's going to go back in like that with that notch down. Okay. Now we're going to take all of these bash plate bolts off. And it looks like we've got, there's some up here, there's one up here. So we're going to pull all those off. Those are 10 millimeter, or excuse me, those are 12 millimeter. Gonna have to get a different ratchet type for that. See if that fits. Yep. So not everything is exactly the same length. So those first two I took off are this length. And then this one I just took off is shorter. So it'd be interesting to see how many are that. It'd be great if they were all the exact same length, because then you're less likely to mix them up. So it looks like the ones that are sheet metal connected to sheet metal are the shorter bolts. There we go. Just make sure I can remember how to put that back on. There's a little hook right there, and then it goes right up like that. Just refresh that in my brain. Okay. if you can see right here, this is a grounding location. And I think this clip will come right off if I get a flathead screwdriver, and I can pop it off of here once I pull this piece off. There we go. It's loose. Come on, baby. There we go. That's interesting. That one looks like it's got 2 washers on it. So we're gonna have to remember that one was the top one. Unless somebody double washered that one the last time it was done. Although I looked into the national service history for my car, and it looks like the previous owner waived on this service. So I don't know why that one would have ever been double washered. So it must be a requirement, I'm wondering, thinking. Yep. I found one tucked right back here. So that one needs to come off. Yeah, starting to get some, it's starting to get loose, which is good. I think these are the final couple right here. I don't want to speak too soon. But there's one here and one right here. These 2 right here. I'm gonna have to get these by hand. There we go. Let's see if this is the last one. Yeah. Just barely. Okay, so this is the transfer case bash guard, essentially. And I think it's going to let loose after this one because I'm feeling some weight of it. Yeah. So that's kind of just to extricate it and move it out of the way. There. Just took some leveraging to get that out. I'm assuming that's just going to pop back in. Didn't look like I broke anything. And there's the little hole that it connects to. All right, so there's the bash plate. Now to the fun part. This is a 24 millimeter fill bolt, and it's got a copper washer. And this is the 24 millimeter, did I say 24 millimeter? Same 24 millimeter drain bolt with a copper washer. You want to retain the copper washers when you take these off. We'll take a look at them. First, just as a best practice, right? Take your fill bolt off first, because if for some reason that's too tight and you can't get it off, you will have drained all your fluid and you'd be sitting here kind of with your thumbs, you know what, trying to figure out how to get that off. So remove this one first. And I've seen a couple of videos where you might get some drips out of there because this is the top fill level. So it'd be good practice to get your pan up under here for this, even for this one. So I'm going to do that. And then we're going to get to draining this gear oil out. Now this gear oil will come out at a pretty good pace. So, and there's not a tremendous amount of gear oil in here. You know, if you think about it, it's, this is not very wide, this perspective. And you're going to fill fluid from the bottom till about right here. So my guess is that's not much more than a couple quarts of gear oil. So we'll see when we're done, maybe 3 quarts max. I don't have the spec on it quite, but obviously we're going to fill it up till it's full. So I'm going to get my pan, my drain pan, my 24 volt, I keep saying volt, my 24 millimeter. And we're going to get to taking these off, starting with that one first. All right. If you're, just thought I would tell you, if you're a first timer, And this is a little intimidating to you. Don't be intimidated. And remember, you're saving money. You're saving a good bit of money doing this yourself. And so far, not complicated at all. Just maybe some oddball tools if you don't have them. But most everything could be easily done here with just a, appropriate set of ratchets and tools. So make sure you've got some paper towels for the mess. This is our quart catcher, right? Disposed oil catcher. And got the 24 millimeter. And this will be your highest torque setting of all the work that's done, meaning the hardest it will be to pull these off, because that's why I'm using a little bit of a longer breaker bar style wrench here. And then, wait a minute. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Let's not do the wrong direction, folks. Let's not do the wrong direction. That'd be a mistake. So lefty loosey. Let's see what we got here. Not bad. So that was 27 pound-feet of torque, and not bad at all. And I don't expect anything to come gushing out of here. If anything, it should be a drip. Yeah, and in fact, we got a small drip, which is good because that's your fill spot. And there's the washer. We want to retain that washer, so we'll clean that up. And this one does not have a magnet on this side. That's how you can tell the difference. This one down here is supposed to have a magnet. We'll check that here in a minute. And so that's 24 millimeter number 1. And this is where I expect we're going to get a little bit of a gusher. Now, there is no need, frankly, to have that. I'm going to put this back in, and I'm just not going to tighten it down all the way. And I'll get less drips going on here, right? So now that it's loose, the whole point was to make sure it's loose. So that's going to be your fill location, and that'll probably limit some of the drips because I'm going to use the quart drain pan for the bulk of what's going to come out of here. I'm going to lift the pan up for the beginning portion of the gusher. And then as it slows, as the gusher slows, I'll drop the pan down. But it'll come at a pretty good flow to start out with. So there we go. That seemed like the torque setting that it should be. You got to be real careful holding on to this pan with your hand, because there we go. We'll get a little bit more air out of it if we now open up the top. We'll get some air going through the fill plug. Yeah, you let the fill plug go and you get a lot more air cycling through. It allows it to drain faster. Okay, we're going to let that drain for a little while. A good, I'd say 10 minutes or so, just because, frankly, this car has not been sitting here warmed up. And that's why I'm going to give it more time. Yeah. I don't see, neither one of these are magnetized, it looks like to me. So they're both the same bolt, frankly. All right, this torque wrench is set for 27 foot-pounds. Just double checking that. I slipped it on the first time, and I'm like, wow, that's way too big. Don't want to strip anything. There, that's 27 right there. Okay, that one's done. And we are going to use this little hand pump that I picked up. I think this one came from AutoZone. I think you can buy them just about anywhere. I believe this is the pickup tube. I've never used this before. I used one once before. It was just a hunk of junk and leaked all over the place. So hopefully this one works better. Well, I gotta tell you, that's just not working. This pump right here was, I don't know, like $29 from AutoZone, and it's junk. Can't get it to pull anything. So I'm gonna go buy the cheaper hand pump, see if I can get it to work. I'll be right back. Trial and error sometimes is just what we do, and it's okay. Turns out this pump is not correct for this application, at least as far as I can tell. So I'm gonna change pumps. Crazy town. Well, here we go. The cheapest pump you can buy so far is super easy to apply. Let's see if we can get any action out of this. Holy mackerel, look at that. We have gear grease going in like it's no big deal. Well, sometimes a single purpose tool is the best one. Turn this bottle so I can see the sight. So we have quite a bit to go here just to get this first quart in. And it has some left over for sure, a significant amount. So there is another length pipe that can go on there. And I wonder, yeah, a little bit of an acrobatic move here. I wonder, let's see. Let's check this other size. Yeah, that other size doesn't bottom out, so we'll have more ability to get juice before this is done. That longer extension's the better one. This particular pump only comes with 2 extensions, that shorter one and then this one. And the longer one is suited for this size container. Okay. That's about it for that one. I actually love how this thing just doesn't drip for anything when you make the change. That's great. It's like night and day, this pump versus the other one. All right, as you can see, we've got a drip right here going for sure. And if I pump some more in, that drip's going to keep going. So we're done. We just got to take our tube out, put our bolt back in. And clean up a little bit of a mess. Let's see if I can put it back in there. All right. So, not bad for a first timer, huh? Had to go get a new pump. Had to do some gymnastics around trying to make that first pump work. And then this pump worked great. And it didn't take quite 2 quarts. So, and we are torqued here, and we just need to torque here. And then we can start putting back together all the bracketry, heat shield, and that isolator thing that goes there. This is 27 foot-pound. Okay. All right, that's on. All right, let's get started with the guard. So this engine guard. So this one goes where do you go? One bolt here on this end. There we go. There. And we're just gonna put these in hand tight. There are 3 right here up front. And remember, there's 2 back here. And again, we're just going to finger tighten these. All right, let me swing around here. Hopefully I don't get a bunch of grease all over my head. This is the drive shaft area right here that goes up to the front wheels. Got that one in. And one more right here. Oh, it looks like I got one up here too. So that's 5. The clip up here that held the ground wire, so that's reattached. And then let's hang this on here and see where those remaining bolts go. There's one up there. There's one right here. one right here. Remember we said the shorter ones were the ones that were sheet metal to sheet metal. This one goes here. And it's sheet metal to sheet metal that goes here. And there. This one right here. Doing that one that's way up there that's kind of tough to get to. And I'll torque all these as I come back to them. This one up here, we did this one. I feel like there's one more spot. Well, I know that I don't just feel like because I got another bolt. All right, so I made a mistake. And I unhooked or unscrewed this case. So there's a case bolts that we would crack the whole transfer case in half, I guess, if you opened them all up. And I opened this one right here and took it off, and that was the missing bolt. So I put that back on, and now we're going to go through and we're going to torque all these down. And the torque settings for all of this, I wrote them down. So it is 27 foot-pound for the 24 millimeters. We did that already. Then it's 12 foot-pound for the heat insulator, which is this one, and 10 foot-pound for the lower transfer case protector, which is this one right here. So 12 and 10, and then the 9 foot-pounds for the dynamic damper that goes back right here. So 10 for this, 12 for this, and 9 for this. And let's get that going. So I've got this set at 12 foot-pounds. Actually, it should be 22 foot-pounds for the heat insulator. I read that wrong, 22. So let me switch this real quick. There's 20. And let's go to 2. And we are going to put, for the heat insulator, one, 2, 3. Okay. Let's go this one. One, 2, 3. Okay. One, 2, 3. That's the heat insulator, and then we've got a couple more we've got to go after here. Let's see. On the heat insulators, this one, and I got that one up there, and this one still to get. But those are not in a good spot. Which means Just gonna have to put a pretty good, reasonable estimate on there about what it's gonna take. Okay. 10 foot-pound for the lower transfer case bracket. Yeah, that's 10 right there. Okay, so that one's done. That's 10. Okay. Let's see if it works on this side. Yeah. Can't reach that one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That made it. On this side, I think I can reach that one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Not tight at all. We gotta get this one. It's a little tougher to get to, actually. I got an open end wrench here. And I gotta do it better with this. Thank goodness it's not a very tight one. And I'm unloosening instead of tightening. That's good. Yeah. The final pièce de résistance, as they say. And that is this bad boy. What the heck is this called again? This is the dynamic damper, which makes me wonder. Old LandCruisers. When I say old, I don't know, 2000s. Around that, don't hold me to it. Around that range, had some vibration challenges, driveline vibration, those kinds of things, and Toyota solved it. I don't know how they solved it. I think they're solved. You guys, if you know any differently, let me know in the comment section. And I wonder if this is part of the solve. Just because, what an unusual piece to put on there. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. Of course, I don't have a lot of experience. But, all right, let's back this off to 9 foot-pound. And we got the 1, 2, 3. So I really don't want that very tight. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. She's done. In her full beauty there. This is where you give yourself an applause. Nice job, folks, if you tried this one and did it. So congratulations, you saved some money. The amount of labor that goes into this and spinning all this stuff off, this could be, if you did the rear diff, center transfer case, and front diff, you know, you might be, don't quote me on it, it might be $500, $600, $700. If you go to your local dealership, might be a little less. If you go aftermarket, I'm curious. Throw something in the comments section below if you've got an idea of what those prices are. And I'm into this, just my labor, right? weekend warrior. I'm in this, my labor, and, you know, some supplies. So this pump was $11. It was $18 per quart of the gear lube. So, you know, I got two bottles into this, 36 bucks plus the 11. I'm into this thing like $40, $45 in terms of supplies on a service that needs to be done, I think every 60,000 miles. I'm going to double check that and put it into the description below on this video. But yeah, I mean, I'm pleased with it. I've never done it before. I thank goodness to a number of the YouTubers out there. And I'll have to go back and look and see which ones I relied on, but there's some good ones out there. Thanks for that effort. I think this is the first, maybe, I don't know. I didn't find an LX version for this particular service, but I'm sure there's one out there. YouTube's gargantuan. There has to be. So there you have it. We're done. Ready to rock. All right, folks, if you completed your service on your 200 series LandCruiser or LX and you followed along with this video or the videos that are out there on YouTube, congratulations. And if it was a first timer, special congratulations. It was the first time for me. So this just shows you how, with the right tools, some patience, and a methodical approach of taking it apart, pumping the gear oil in, putting it back together, you can get this done on your own. You can do it yourself. You can save money, good money. So if I were to put it on a scale of 1 to 3, let's say, 1 being easiest and 3 being the most difficult, I'd give it a 2 just because I'm a first timer at it. And it took me a little longer, and I had to, you know, jack up the car. I think if I had ramps, I could easily do this. I'm not sure you need jack stands necessarily. So I'd give it a 2 this go around. And I think if I, you know, next time I do this in another, let's say 60,000 miles, I think I can give this a 1. I think I could pull this thing off in a half an hour. Okay, maybe 45 minutes, just because there's a little bit more of that guard and heat protector and that dynamic resonator thing that's on there. That takes a little bit more time to pull off of there. So probably give it 45 minutes. But 45 minutes and save 250 bucks, maybe 350 bucks. I'm down for that. So if you enjoyed this, if you got a little fun, little laugh out of it, whatever the case is, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Would love to have you on the channel as we grow the channel and bring more videos to you. Be good. Bye-bye. Well, dang it. I had everything put away. I was in the house and I was just thinking about pouring a cold one, and one more thing came up. And I just felt like I needed to impart this piece to you all because I believe there's value in it. Most OEMs, and I say that without having done the research, but I know it's the case for Toyota and Lexus, so I've got some assumptions it's for other brands out there as well. Check your brand. They've got owner sites. So Toyota and Lexus have owner sites. This vehicle is registered in the VIN number and my name on that Lexus owner site, and there's a service history log. So it's not only the service history that your Lexus dealer has performed for a previous owner. In this case, there was one previous owner. But I can also add the services in that I'm doing and put the appropriate intervals, the appropriate service type, and some explanation about, you know, what was used and what that type is. And I've done that on oil changes so far, and I'm preparing to go in and do it for the gear lube changes and then transmission service that's going to be done here in the future. So I wanted to give you that tip before I let you go, because I think if you're going to trade your vehicle in and you can show, look, this is all the services that have been done. This vehicle's in great condition. Hopefully a dealer takes that into consideration. You never know. Certainly a third party, it's a confidence builder when you're trying to build value for them, and sometimes folks are not sure they're making the right decision. You can show them that and say, look, here is legitimately everything that's been done. And you can keep it housed digitally on the OEM's website, which I think there's value there. So just wanted to bring you that tip. Remember, like and subscribe. Thanks.